Hi everyone, Dana Hall here. I'm going to go over my story before tonight's call at 8:30. Super excited to have you all join us. This just will save us time from Kristen and I going over our personal stories up top, so we can fit in everything else about this opportunity and how amazing it is, and make sure we cover as many topics as possible on tonight's call. I'm going to go into kind of my story and how I got started with Beachbody and then into coaching and where I'm at today. Please excuse the crazy hair. I just got out of the shower because I just worked out. And I'm going to go ahead and share a screen so you can kind of see my slide. Okay. Okay. My story is a little bit different than a lot of people's, but I'm sure there's a lot that can relate as well. I've been heavy most of my life. Up until about 2 years ago, I would say I've finally gotten to the point where I am maintaining where I want to be finally, and I have the body that I've always wanted, and I have the confidence that I've always wanted. So here you can see this picture right here. That is me at 18 years old. That is actually the day I graduated high school. I was probably at my heaviest here. I don't know how much I weighed. I didn't weigh myself. I've never been a big scale person. I hate the scale. I still don't care for the scale right now. I think it's deceitful and lies to you. After this, I had decided that I wanted to wear a bikini, which is such a crazy goal because I had never worn one. And at this point, I think I was wearing like a one piece and I would wear a t-shirt over it because I was so uncomfortable with my body. And I didn't know where to start. So I started running because my best friend, she had Jennifer Grey six-pack abs from Dirty Dancing, and she ran. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And I started, and I was awful. I was terrible. I had to walk more than I had ran, but I kept at it. Every day I would get out and I would keep going. And so that's where I started. As you know, I went to college then and I did wear a bikini at the end of the summer. I wouldn't say I was where I really wanted to be, but I had made some major progress. Then I went to college and I gained the freshman 15 within the first semester. I came back, and after Christmas, Lent was there, and I gave up like sweets and eating between meals, and I had a lot of walking to do in classes, so I lost the freshman 15. But I just was always going up and down, up and down, up and down. I was never consistent. I was running at the time, but I wasn't eating healthy. I mean, I would eat chicken tenders and french fries all the time. I mean, we all know how the food is at college. And then when you're out drinking and you need something to soak it all up, pizza and just, so yeah, it wasn't good. So even though I did, like, there were points where I was like, oh, okay, I look good, I wasn't healthy in any way. So then after I graduated, about a year after I moved to Houston, the person I was in a relationship with for 6 years, it didn't work out. And I kind of went through a phase where I just didn't give a crap. And I would normally say another word, but I just didn't care. So I was probably drinking like 4 to 6 nights a week. I was bartending at the time, and I just was not, I mean, late night trips to McDonald's, you name it, I would be eating late to soak up that alcohol so I didn't have a terrible hangover the next day. It wasn't pretty. That would be probably around this time and this time as well, as you can see, and you'll see my pictures from today. So I wasn't in a good place, and then eventually I got better, and I got to a place, and I was watching what I watching what I ate, and I started running again. But again, I was never consistent, and I still always fluctuated, and I was never content. I was never happy with where I was at. I've tried a lot of things. I've done Weight Watchers. I've multiple times. I've done Advocare. I've done counted calories. I've done a raw food diet. I've done a non-processed sugar diet. Like I've done so many different things. And up until about 2 years ago, my friend Christy, who I went to high school with, had posted online about P90X3 coming out. And I had tried P90X, but never finished it. It was like an hour to hour and a half commitment every day. And I was like, I couldn't do it. I ended up traveling a lot, and I just couldn't make that commitment. So I ended up stopping about 6 weeks after I started. But I loved the program. So when she's like, hey, this is only 30 minutes. And I was like, I'm sold. So I'd asked my husband, who's my boyfriend at the time, maybe fiance. No, he's fiance. And I was like, hey, will you do this with me? And he was like, yes, absolutely. So we started the beginning of the year, because we got it, I think, in December. Maybe we purchased in January. I can't remember. Anyways, we started do the whole program all the way through, and I got more than I'd ever imagined could happen. I got the body that I finally wanted. I was at the store trying on things that I never imagined I could wear. As you can see right here, this skirt and this little top. I can't remember what they call this top, like a bandeau top maybe, or something like that, which shows my stomach there. Like, I would have never worn that in public, or even thought to grab it off a shelf to try and put this outfit together. I wore this to my wedding shower. I was wearing rompers and just grabbing things and looking good and feeling comfortable and confident in all of them. And I remember standing in that fitting room going, and this is why I do this. And this is why it's all worth it. And this is why I'll continue down this path, is because I want to continue to feel confident and comfortable in my own skin. Don't get me wrong. There are still days where I wake up and I am like, what's going on there? But more often than not, I'm waking up and I'm happy with what I see in the mirror. And that speaks volumes. And that's why I won't quit. And that's why, because I don't want to go back to these girls. I don't want to go back to them. I love them and they've taught me a lot of lessons, but I don't want to go back to them. I want to stay where I am right now and where I continue to go and where I'm continuing to grow. So probably about a month and a half into me doing my P90X journey, Kristen and I had talked, and I don't remember if I asked about the coaching opportunity or if she brought it up. It's been a while, but I think both of us were either thinking it, and she was, to be offered to get a discount on Shakeology, which I was drinking regularly, and any programs that I want was appealing. Not to mention the fact that I was like, well, if I'm a coach, it'll keep me accountable, because I don't want to talk about something that I'm not actually doing. And so I figured that would be an additional accountability. And then I also was blogging at the time, and I was at the most trying to live a healthy lifestyle. So I thought this fit the bill. And I was like, I think this is good. I was hesitant and I was a bit nervous, but I kept telling, and I was like, well, if it doesn't work out, I don't have to continue it. It's not that big of a deal. I can just try. And my husband was super supportive. He was like, absolutely, I think you should give it a shot. I was like, cool. So I signed up to be a coach. And I've learned a lot of things on this journey. And just like P90X3, exceeded my expectations, so did coaching. I didn't know what the world of coaching was going to bring to me. And it has just changed. With working out and taking care of myself and being healthy, because it's so much more about than physical health. It's about mental as well. As Beachbody coaches, one of our vitals is to take 10 minutes out a day and do personal development, which is amazing what it can do for you mentally. As someone who suffered from depression her whole life, it's a game changer. I've gone to therapists several times, and I struggle with depression to this day. But coaching has actually made a huge difference as far as that's concerned. And I'll actually go into a little bit about that. That's something that recently happened. It gives me, Clifton is very passionate about improv, and I felt like I never had something that I was passionate about, but I'm so passionate about, being healthy and helping others to be confident and comfortable in their own skin and being healthier. So that's a huge thing. I'm less stressed, and I don't have as much anxiety, and I'm a lot more positive than I used to be. And this is all because of coaching. And I know that sounds crazy. I get that sounds crazy. And you're like, is she just trying to sell me something? Here's the thing. I'm not trying to sell you something. I've got nothing, like I can't talk about something that I don't truly believe in. I can't talk about something that hasn't truly changed my life. That's just who I am. I'm a terrible liar, awful. So everything I'm telling you is exactly how it's made a difference in my life. I'm surrounded by the most inspiring, supportive people daily who have my back. And these are people like Kristen, who you're going to hear her story before long. And she's going to be on this call tonight. She's my success partner in this business, and we run our team together, the Big Dynasty. Because we wanted to have a specific feel, and her and I are on the same page, and we decided to be success partners at the same time, which was weird, because we hadn't really talked too much, and other than like a little bit in our group page. And we both kind of reached out to each other at the same time and was like, hey, want to be partners? And yeah, and it's, I can't even explain how, I mean, I'm not a phone person. I will get on the phone. I don't mind being on the phone, but I'm not someone who would jump on the phone. But her and I spoke on video chat for probably almost a year before we actually met in person, because she lives in Michigan and I live now in North Carolina, but I was living in Texas. We didn't meet until Summit in Nashville last year. And we still talk every week. And that brings me to the story of what I want to tell you about depression and how this has changed my life. So I still go through bouts of depression. My life isn't perfect. Yes, I'm happy and I'm positive and I'm less stressed and I don't have as much anxiety, but my life isn't anywhere near perfect. Still struggling to get out of financial debt, which is really hard on me personally. I work from home, which is a huge difference. It sounds really exciting, but when you don't get out a lot, and you spend most of your time indoors, it can really take a toll on you. Especially, when you're going from Texas, who's a warmer climate and the sun's out a little bit more than in North Carolina. So I've actually started to take vitamin Ds. Anyways, off track. And then not being able to really go out and do things because you're trying to get yourself out of debt. So there's a lot of factors and a lot of stress that hits me. And so that causes me to get depressed. But what I found is that when I get into those moods, that if I start talking to someone via messenger, just a conversation, which is part of, being a coach, is reconnecting and connecting with people. Or if I talk and have a call with one of my fellow coaches, or Kristen and I have a call, which happened last night. I was in a terrible mood yesterday. I was in a bad mood. I can't even explain how bad I was in. And then Kristen and I had our call and we ended up talking for like 2 hours. I have been I can't even tell you, it's like a 180. And that's what coaching gives me, is giving me these people that I've reconnected with, that I've met and connected with. And it's just simply changed my life. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. And that's starting to trickle into other things like, just taking care of myself better, pampering myself a little bit more. And it's at home, but I don't, I'm always putting myself last, and now I'm learning to put myself first, because you do have to take care of yourself. It's important. I'm going to stop rambling because I can do that. And so I just wanted to share with you how not only Beachbody, but the coaching opportunity has significantly changed my life and made a huge difference. I'm looking forward to having you all on the call tonight. I cannot wait to share more about this with you. And I hope that you ask any questions that you might have. We're going to have a Q&A at the end of it. And I hope we cover everything you need. But don't hesitate to chat or ask questions if you have it. Seriously, looking forward to meeting you all and talking to you all and sharing this amazing opportunity with you all. Hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.